Good morning and welcome to KZSC News. On today's edition, voices from the Santa Cruz Women's March, a resolution on Ecuadorian oil imports to California, and an upcoming protest against possible offshore oil drilling in California. Stay tuned.
This past Saturday, January 20th, many gathered for the second annual Women's March in Santa Cruz. Last year's demonstration was in response to Donald Trump's inauguration into office. This year, participants came out for a variety of reasons.
Strongly believing in women's rights and that they're getting taken away.
Equality for all. And so far we're not seeing that at all in this country. It sucks.
The need to make my voice heard in this crazy age we're in.
Why crazy age?
Our government is been turned upside down, and the people need to get straight.
Resistance?
Yes,
protesting
resistance.
Trump and protesting
Everything
what's happening with DACA.
Yeah. All the bad policies that are being put forth by the Trump administration.
Right. All the things that Rump is doing in office and destroying the country from within, all the abuse of women's rights.
Many participants explained their belief in the importance of participating in marches and demonstrations like the Women's March.
Demonstrating like a basic right that we're given, so it's like almost in itself you're demanding rights by practicing them.
Yeah, and I think as much as it sucks that Trump's our president right now, there is a great sign that says if this wasn't happening, that we'd all be at brunch right now.
Really important. There's a big history of marches in my lifetime going back to the Vietnam War. And even though you don't see immediate change, you make your voice heard and it carries forward.
Oh, extremely important. I think they raise awareness of
Because
the
of the
sheer numbers of people that disagree with what's happening.
And
provide a sense of hope.
And younger people involved. You see all the
Oh,
really
and
young
that
people here.
was the good thing about this march, I thought, too, was how many younger people were here. I was very excited about that. And young women, too, were committed to the resistance and what's going on.
Demonstrators also voiced the impact of marches like these on future generations.
Inspire them, show them to get out there and never take no for an answer. Don't let people tell you what to do with your body.
Starts with small steps too, you gotta take it one step at a time. This is where it starts.
I hope that it will encourage more to come out and be part of the electoral process. We need a lot more women in office.
Have us continue to stick together and be vocal.
Right.
Give hope.
Hopefully encourage them to vote. Right.
Yes.
Very important, the voting.
Reports estimated this past weekend's turnout to be around 25,000 participants and included both students and community members.
On Tuesday, January 23rd, the City Council of Santa Cruz voted on a resolution pertaining to the use of crude oil originating from the Amazon rainforest. The campaign for this resolution was created and led by CalPERG. On the morning of the vote, a public Q&A was held outside the council chambers. Noah Mills, vice president of the UCSC chapter of CalPERG, spoke about their mission and goals regarding the resolution.
CalPERG is a statewide student-run and student-funded nonprofit. This fall, UC Santa Cruz CalPERG chapter launched our first campaign to build up support for a statewide ban on oil drilled for in the Amazon rainforest. And this campaign we wrote the campaign at the end of last year, was voted on by the board and approved unanimously. We launched it in the fall and right away made contact with some city council members. We're very happy to have this big milestone here today.
Zoe Sina-Sklar from the Amazon Watch campaign also spoke about the effects of drilling in Ecuador.
Oil drilling in the Amazon has devastating impacts on local indigenous communities, the rainforest ecosystem, and the global climate. This ecosystem stores enormous quantities of carbon and plays a critical role in regulating the global carbon cycle. If we lose the Amazon, we lose the stability of our whole planet and change it forever. Unfortunately, what we see is that this region is under increasing intense pressure from industrial development. And in the Western Amazon basin, one of the key drivers of deforestation and forest degradation is oil drilling. For many years, our indigenous partners on the ground in Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia have been saying, loud and clear that it's time to keep the oil in the ground. And finally, we're seeing scientists catch up to this wisdom, recognizing that in order to combat the climate crisis, we need to keep at least 2/3 of known fossil fuel reserves in the ground. So drilling for oil in the Amazon runs counter to this and is totally destructive for the future of the rainforest, for the future of indigenous communities that have called this region home for millennia, and for the global climate. Nevertheless, we're seeing new oil drilling projects going deeper and deeper into the heart of the Amazon rainforest, with truly devastating impacts for local communities and for the planet. This continued oil drilling is driven by market demand, and as Noah mentioned, much of this demand comes from the United States and specifically from California.
Councilmember Chris Cron, who also serves on the Santa Cruz Climate Action Committee, also gave his input on the situation.
I'm excited to be here because there's an expression, when the people lead, the leaders will follow. And this is definitely following within that framework that the students at UC Santa Cruz recognize a really significant issue. We can do something about it. A lot of times the city council gets accused of taking on these esoteric issues or issues that aren't local. Well, it is very local. This is definitely an issue that we're going to bring forward to the city council today. If the city council passes it, we're going to take it on to Sacramento and let our governor know about it, our state legislature know about it, and cities banding together and stopping the importation of crude from the Amazon, which is one of the most vulnerable areas, ecosystems. So this is where we locally, through the students leading and the city council following, can have an effect. Now therefore be it resolved, the City Council of Santa Cruz urges the state of California to adopt a statewide ban on imports of crude oil drilled for in the Amazon rainforest, and that the mayor of Santa Cruz and City Council will send a letter to the governor, the assembly, the state leaders in energy companies, and Chevron Corporation to urge them to end oil drilling projects in the Amazon rainforest and California's importation thereof. Thank you very much, and thank you all for being here and for bringing this to us.
On Saturday, February 3rd, the Santa Cruz-based organization Save Our Shores will be holding a rally and march to protest recent legislation proposed by the Department of Interior, which would open the entire coast of California to commercial oil and gas interest. KZSC reached out and spoke with a representative for more information.
I'm Catherine O'Day, Executive Director at Save Our Shores. So the protest is really looking at some of the policies that are coming out of D.C. affecting our ocean environment. In April of 2017, the Trump administration mandated a review of all national marine sanctuaries that were either created or expanded within the last 10 years. And so we have 4 sanctuaries off the coast of California, including the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, currently, under a threat of possibly the boundaries being shrunk. That's of particular concern because the sanctuary designation gives us additional protection from any offshore oil or gas exploration. We're still waiting to find out the final results of whether any of our sanctuaries are going to be reduced in size. On January 4th, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management announced a new 5-year offshore oil and gas exploration plan that right now includes virtually the entire coastline of the U.S., so East Coast, Gulf, West Coast, including all of the state of California.
Catherine had these words to say about the specific actions being taken by their organization.
We're not going to sit idly by and let the administration and the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management just sort of issue a new 5-year leasing plan that now incorporates all of the Pacific Coast. We are doing letter writing campaigns. We are part of a broader statewide coalition, and we're leading this effort locally to get the people to turn out and express their unhappiness and dissatisfaction with what the administration is doing, and just to say pretty loud and clear, you're not drilling off our coast, not for sale to the oil and gas industry.
I'm Quinn Edmonson.
This is Max Ryan.
I'm Daniel Martinez.
And I'm Ty Gehring. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to tune in next week for another broadcast.